Okay.
The return.
Oh no.
Alright, so this is Justin. This is Andrew. They just met. I'm Blake. So I've did one of these similar to this guy that I lost the file because my computer died. And I've done a bunch of these with Justin over here on the radio show, so he's never actually had to appear on camera.
Yeah, it's much better on a radio, that you don't have to see this whole thing. But
I feel similarly. I've been told I have a great radio face. So,
yeah, I
a
understand
great radio
that.
head, you might say, a band that doesn't appear on this list. All right, so we're doing review of 1 through 20 on the Billboard alternative list as of this Wednesday. This was not a very interesting list, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
I feel like as I was going through it, the ones that I had heard several times before, I more or less didn't know that they were by the artists on here, and then okay, that's a common feature with me, but it felt especially common here. And then the ones I didn't know, maybe I didn't know for good reason.
All right, so starting off with number 20. Sorry, this is The Gold by Manchester Orchestra.
Okay, so when the song first opens, I almost get kind of like a country guitar kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's kind of like soft vocals, and I don't know, I didn't really like how the vocals really sounded that much. But it was actually different than most of the rest of the list, so it kind of stood out. I wouldn't say it was necessarily good, but I was like, oh, I didn't hear something that was all samey like the rest of this list.
True, yeah. It reminded me a little bit of Monsters and Men, I'd say. Some of the...
If they were really, really gothic all of a sudden.
Yeah, that was
I can hear it though.
A little bit like that, maybe a little bit more country.
So I'm going to assume that...
a little bit.
I'm going to assume that neither of you know who the hell this is.
Nope.
Alright, so I'm vaguely familiar with this band, and they didn't used to sound... They used to be this very weirdly frenetic sort of indie rock or kind of progressive, and on one hand, I don't want to be too critical of this song because it's off of a concept album, so it's like, alright, clearly hearing this by itself, you're like, I don't understand parts of it. I really don't like the way, as you mentioned, I don't like the way they do his vocals in
really
this.
Soft.
Yeah, they're weirdly soft, and then they do these harmonies that just sound, I know they're trying to sound eerie, but they just sound unpleasant at some point, and yes, the song has a nice sort of this charred, blackened, sort of gothic country ambiance to it, but it just kind of keeps repeating the same lead riff over and over again, in my opinion. And it's just a song with a lot of ambiance that doesn't do anything with it, in my opinion.
What did you think of the parts that were a little bit more kind of a cappella?
I think those at first they really got to me, but they kept doing the same trick over and over again. My opinion was music going, and then stop acapella moment, and then stop acapella moment. I was like, the first time it got me, but eventually I was like, you're doing the same emotional trick over and over again.
Yeah. I think I kind of had or experienced the same effect. I really kind of enjoyed it the first one or two times because it was a nice kind of shift from the rest of the song. It made it a little bit more distinct than some of the more general feels I got from it. But you're right, it was a little bit overused.
I don't know, maybe if I heard in the concept album, this would fit more.
Better.
Alright, so we're all lukewarm on that one. Alright, on to number 19. I don't know what this guy is doing in this song. This is Connected by Love by Jack White. This is not what I expect when I hear Jack White's name assigned to a song.
Yeah. Okay. Was he trying to do way too many different things and try to connect them together?
I feel, yeah.
There was keyboard kind of solo.
That was I think that was a guitar, actually.
Was it guitar?
I'm pretty sure it's guitar.
I'm dumb. It's okay. There was almost electronic sounds to it.
Yeah.
The way he was singing was a little different. I wasn't a huge fan.
Yeah.
When it the very first few notes of the song just gave me kind of a wave of feeling is this gonna be a sci-fi movie?
Yeah. It was almost like thumping sci-fi sounds.
It's very electro kind of.
And then you throw in again, the guitar solo, then the second chorus throws in these, gospel vocals.
The background women, there's a piano and an organ.
And it almost kind of worked for me until I realized the chorus made no sense. What does it mean to be connected by love? Love is a connection, but you're usually connected by other things besides just that love. And just the whole song feels kind of guilt trippy too. He's like, "Don't leave me, I need you," and it's sad because he gives a really passionate performance. I think there's a part in the bridge where it's just his voice and it sounds really good, but when he's singing, I'm like, "No, you're just gotta be your creeper."
It felt kind of like ballady to me.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if I was really that comfortable with it coming from Jack White in this sound.
Because I'm so used to Jack White, being this, garage rocker, and this is, there's a guitar solo, but it starts off with this weirdly, undulating bass beat that made me think it was a Muse song, honestly.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
So, it almost worked for me, because I think because it's 5 minutes, and I think it justifies its length, and it almost fit together, but the lyrics are just kind of creepy for me.
It's by the end of it, I did kind of feel like it was a little too much being put together in a way that I feel like I would like all the different parts kind of separated out. I feel like they could stand on their own, maybe in a different song, but all together it was a little mismatched.
Yeah, I was a little shocked. Same thing, when the background vocalist, the women background vocalist coming in, it sounded just a little disjointed for me. It was just off, and then the guitar tones were weird.
Speaking of too many pieces being thrown together, number 18. This is Best Friend by Sophie Tucker, featuring Nervo, The Knox, Annalisa Ueno, I think is how you pronounce that name. What?
Are we allowed to curse or no? Or keep it
Go
PG?
ahead.
Go for it.
What the fuck? Because that's literally what I was listening. I mean, there's the first guy with a really weird, toned down voice, and then the Ueno girl. I know she has an accent, and I just feel, but it sounded really weird.
Oh, okay, you can tell she's Japanese because she references Pokemon.
I know, that was cringy. When I heard Pokemon, I'm like, God.
All right, so
Here begins my hypocrisy, because I enjoyed this song at a surface level. Okay, I'm a little bit of a sucker for some of the more electro sound.
I
know
get
this
it.
by now.
Yeah.
I'm way into EDM. So that kind of top stuff that's just a little bit light and kind of fun and electro, it appealed to me, and I was even kind of fine with some of the really mismatched parts and all that kind of weird stuff. I do admit, versus most of what I listen to, it's a lot less.
I will say this song isn't awesome as hell bass line to it. That doesn't. But my problem with this song is that I couldn't tell, because the song's called Best Friend, I couldn't tell if they were talking about a romantic best friend or a platonic best friend. Because there's a line because the first line of the chorus, I think it's the chorus, goes, "Keep loving you till 65. I'm like, that sounds like a romantic thing. And then there's the part at the end of the chorus where she goes, "We've got some shit to shoot."
Yeah.
That's who says that in a romantic context? That's like you going out with your buddies, "Hey, we got some shit to shoot, guys." That's not something you say to someone you love. I think. Maybe I'm weird.
I think moving through that kind of chorus, it feels like it moves in a bit of the opposite direction of what one might expect in a normal relationship, from kind of more romantic to more casual,
I can see that,
friendly. A little bit odd.
This is also, there's going to be a lot of this on this list, but there's going to be a lot of songs on here that you probably only know because of commercials, including this one, which I believe was used in an Apple commercial.
Really?
I believe so.
I
That's
don't
why I
watch
see
enough
here.
Apple commercials then. Actually, I'm glad I don't watch Apple commercials.
Do you have any final thoughts on this?
Just I could see how it could be kind of fun, and I understand. It's just not for me. It's too disjointed.
On to number 17. I Only Lie When I Love You by Royal Blood. As you can probably tell by my tone of voice there, Why does this band continue to disappoint me?
We've reviewed one of their songs on a previous.
I'm pretty sure it might have been this, honestly.
Oh, really? I remember their name. I
Mhm.
don't know if I've heard anything else by them in between.
Yeah.
I want to say I was reminded a little bit of the last song that I heard by them, and I wish I could remember which
All
one
their
it
stuff
was.
kind of sounds the same. Probably
Yeah, okay,
was it
yeah.
Lights Out that we did?
No, I think we do Lights Out?
We did Lights Out, yeah, but this
But it
might have been a different chart.
Okay.
Could be. But something that I think is probably what I'm recalling is that it starts out pretty quickly. It starts out kind of loud and blatant like that.
It just
guitar.
hits you in the
Yeah.
face immediately.
And I like the guitars. It's pretty immediate, which I'm okay with sometimes.
Mhm,
At least in my mind, that's become kind of a signature trait of them.
Yeah,
Because
they
it's
are
in the
they are
two
very
songs.
loud and in your face, I'd say.
Was the vocals just a little too quiet, or was that just like the vibe they're
They
going
just
for?
sounded kind of shrill to me.
Yeah.
I didn't notice
Like
that.
I didn't really like the mixing of the song.
I
But
agree.
I agree with you. I like the sound of the guitars. I liked how they kind of came in. But the song, as much of this list as we'll see, is just kind of mediocre.
It's also really spastic, in my opinion, where it's like, all right, the song just starts by screaming, I only lie when I love you. And there's not really, like, a chorus to it. It's just kind of him repeating that one line, which,
Yeah.
all right, you two probably both know this song. You know my songs, Know What You Did in the Dark by Fall Out
Yes.
Boy.
Yeah.
This reminds me of it in the same way, where it's like, they wrote this line, they're like, oh, this sounds so awesome. My songs Know What You Did in the Dark. I'm such a badass. And this song is the same way, it's like, I only lie when I love you. That's so cool. No, it's not.
You need a little bit more than that for a song.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this band's sound a lot, as you both mentioned. I like what they do with guitars. I like that they are so huge and heavy, more so than you expect in an alternative list. But they just come across as kind of just mean-spirited in this one to me.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, but I agree. I liked it, like maybe just because I liked it a little bit more, just because it was
Because
a
you're
difference.
more of a classic rock
Yeah,
guy.
I
too.
like the guitar, and it was also just a change. And I think
Yeah,
by
it's
the
true.
end of this list, because I listened 1 through 20, not 20
Yeah.
through 1,
Mhm.
and I
You were just
I
kinda
was
sick of
I
the
was
same
ready
sound.
for something with
I-
a little bit more instrumentation.
I get that. Alright. Number 16. This is one of the few bands in here I actually didn't know about. This is a Too High by Moon Taxi. Get it? Too High. Do you get it?
Whoa. That's
I
crazy.
actually kind of liked this though.
That
Yeah.
guitar opening I've heard in so many songs.
Alright,
Like,
do you remember Stolen Dance by Milky Chance?
Yes.
I
I like that
love
song.
you. I do too, but it totally sounds the exact same to me.
Yeah.
and I knew another song that I heard that exact same thing. I was just like, I can't
It
think
does-
of it.
But it sounds nice. It
Yeah.
sounds very relaxing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which the only problem with the song is then they throw in these really fake sounding horns.
Saxophones? Were they?
Yeah, and they wisely cut them out of the final chorus, which they should have done to begin with. Because up until then, I'm like, there's some nice organ here. There's some nice ambiance. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember what he sang about, and
No.
it's built on a stupid pun, I guess. But it's like, it's relaxing. There's a nice ambiance, and I can appreciate that. There's an art to that.
Yeah, it sounded fun. Okay.
That is kind of the word I'd put to it, relaxing. Like,
Mhm.
kind of like what you're saying. I don't know if I necessarily remember what all it was saying, and I don't know if I necessarily remember like all the main tune to it. But
Mhm.
it was a feel good song, kind of like it calmed me,
Yeah.
which was appropriate.
Which we
after-
all clearly need.
Yeah.
We all need some
After,
calm in our lives.
after Royal Blood with those guitars.
Yeah.
Kinda nice.
That is a transition. Wow. I don't know. There's not much to say about this.
No,
song,
it's just
in my
kind of like
opinion.
there.
It's just there. All right.
Listen to it. It's
I-
relaxed.
I'm gonna guess we have a lot to say about this next one.
Ooh.
Number 15, a band I've seen live. No joke. Walk on Water by 30 Seconds to Mars.
Okay. This is the most processed piece on this.
Dude,
It's so preachy. Like, there's a line where it's like, making love with the devil hurts, or in something in
I
that
don't even
vein.
remember that
And
line.
then it's like,
Well,
Oh,
far right, left view.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
was with
like, what is that
that?
supposed to
What?
mean?
What does that
And it's
mean?
like, we filmed this on January 4th.
Dude, alright. I know I said we're not supposed to talk about the video, But whoever
Whatever
whoever directed this video, props to them. Because this is exactly what I think of when I hear this song. It sounds like a song tailor-made for montages.
Yeah.
For like ESPN and stuff.
Yeah.
You see people like, a montage of all the big checks of the week in hockey, and you hear this song over, do you believe you can walk on what? I don't want to do it.
That actually is.
Because I'm pretty, you enjoy some, I could be totally plagiarizing, not plagiarizing, could be totally slandering you here, but you've enjoyed some stuff with these guys before, right? Or am I totally mixing up with another band?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I should listen to more of them to have more of a sense, but what I have heard, I kind of like. I like This Is War, which is probably like
Which is
biggest
cheesy
song
fun.
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of like, I like the feeling it gives me, even though it maybe a little cheap.
The song is just so, like, there's this weird, I don't know if you're, this is like this clipping noise that keeps happening wherever he sings. I don't know what it is, but it was so distracting every time he sang. There was just this clipping noise. And this, again, this song is so processed to oblivion. Oh my, this isn't what rock music should sound like.
No, I don't even know if you can call it rock music. But, and then they brought in a chorus for the second to last, like...
My choir,
Yeah, I was like, what?
It just sounds like crap. It sounds like, this, All of the Lights, right?
Yeah.
Alright, in All of the Lights, they do this thing where they mix together a bunch of voices together.
Yeah.
That song, it sounds really good. Here it
it's
sounds like
epic there.
crap.
Because that song actually has like a sense of scale and epic.
There's no other words for this, but it just sounds like crap. It does. And it's so obviously what it is. It's made for montages.
Yeah. And the lyrics are cringy.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you two didn't like the song very much.
You enjoyed it?
I have to say...
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I have to say I enjoyed it a little bit. It's maybe a song that I would enjoy hearing occasionally. I might not listen to it like
fair
all the time.
enough. I won't begrudge you for enjoying anything on this list.
I at least, okay, as far as songs go that like try to have kind of a grand sound, like you said, something that would go well in a montage. I feel like this one was alright. It was a little less, okay, I would say a little less pretentious than some other ones, but at the same time, some of the lyrics, maybe I rescind that a little bit. But
Making love to the devil hurts. Man.
yes, there is that.
That sounds like a line out of a Skillet song.
It does. Oh my.
Oh, it's just kind of reminds me of Skillet. Alright, we didn't really like that. He enjoyed it.
It's okay.
This guy over here. This guy I love.
I like it how I like Believer by Knights, which I think you don't like.
God,
either.
I'm so happy that song is not on this list.
I know.
What did we have to review that a couple times?
We probably did, yeah. When it was number 1 on the chart, too. Alright, time for the episode. Alright, number 14. This is another weird transition to go to this song. This is We Fight by Dashboard Confessional.
Alright.
I have a quick question. Do either of you know how long this band has been a band, or how long?
It's one guy. It's like an
one
acoustic
guy?
side project. Yeah, he was fucking around from maybe like 96 to 2004. This is like a comeback song of sorts, I believe, which you can kind of tell listening to it, I think.
I was gonna say, I feel like this a little bit was either kind of like a starting out song for a new band, or I guess it would make sense as a bit of a comeback song as well. Between the lyrics and the kind of what it sounded like too, it felt like it definitely had ambition, or like it had a goal in mind, like it was trying to make you feel a certain way, which was alright, but it didn't feel all that professional to me, I guess.
Yeah. I think I kind of enjoyed it, but maybe that's just because it has some pop punk sensibilities in it. And I tend to sometimes listen to trashy pop punk bands, and I'm aware of that. I'm an Offspring. I like Blink-182, and so it's like, and so it's like, I got it.
I just feel like listening to this, I'm like, I feel like this is a guy who's written more interesting stuff than this.
Yeah.
But for this, he wants to sort of like remind people he's back, so he just dumbs it down to a level that's kind of embarrassing and just kind of just hokey. Monkey, I think, where he's like, yeah, we fight our way in, we fight our way out. I'm like, who is we? Who are you talking about? Like, also, you're like, I guarantee you this guy's like in his late 30s and he's writing about this song that, like, this isn't as bad as someone like Sum 41 or someone singing about stuff like that, where it's like, you're way too old to sing about this, youthful rebellion. But even here, I'm like, I feel like you're too old for this. I'm sorry, man.
It definitely felt like it was kind of appealing to a pretty young demographic, and I'm not sure that the.
And I like the general sound of it.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of raw. It sounds, I think it pulls off the anthemic thing better than Walk on Water, personally. But I just am like, you should have done a pass through of the lyrics here to write some more interesting stuff.
Yeah. I think that's a good way of putting it. Like, the feeling I get is that I'm interested by this artist, but I feel like they could do something more interesting that I would like
probably
more.
I was actually curious. I almost went back and listened to his older stuff after this.
A little, tangent kind of comparison. For me, brought back a bit of a memory with, I can't remember the name now.
Oh, no.
But, Fight Song.
Oh, Rachel Platt.
What?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
That song's awful.
Yeah. That song has been very divisive in my experience. I've heard some people really love it. Personally, I'm not that big a fan, but like that one.
I can kind of see it.
That one really felt like a starting out song to me, like trying to kind of.
Yeah. All right.
I get that.
I 100% understand what you're saying now.
But
Yeah.
I have to say, I really liked the next song that I heard by her, which was Stand
Heaven
By.
yeah.
Yeah, that one I liked a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I can see that. All right. Number 13. This is World Gone Mad by Bastille.
Don't forget, it was in the movie Bright.
Can
Can
was
you
on
tell?
Netflix.
Can you tell listening to this is a soundtrack song? Because I sure as hell could.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
If I didn't know that fact, I would probably be wondering a lot more than I am about like what inspired these lyrics.
Yeah.
Like, why is this a song?
Because I love Pompeii, and we reviewed
Yeah.
Blame, and I like Blame more than I think I let on the review. But this song is just a dirge of a song.
And it's like preachy, and it's like it just. I don't really ever. It tries to be really cinematic, I think.
Yes.
But I don't ever think
Holy
it really.
crap, yes.
I don't ever think it really builds up to that like level that you'd want from this kind of song.
It's sort of a trailer song, maybe.
Yeah, it reminds me of, this is a weird comparison, but it kind of reminds me of Not Afraid by Eminem,
Okay.
which is that is not a positive comparison, by the way, in terms of this song. And what is up with the falsetto pre-chorus of this thing, where he just because the song is supposed to be like, oh, the world's just gone so mad and you don't know what to do, and then the pre-chorus is suddenly him going like, you don't want to fuck with us?
Or is
What's-
it? I didn't know if it was
high-pitched
fuck or
voice.
fight for a second.
I think it's fuck with us.
I
Okay.
think it is. Yeah.
But what does this have to do with anything? What, you were just talking about the world sucking and the world going mad. Who is us? Who is you? What?
And I just think it didn't really
It's the-
fit in well.
Protagonist. Didn't you see the movie?
No,
Dude,
because
it
it
was
was
bad.
awful.
No, I heard it was terrible.
We shouldn't talk about other things. Because again, I like Bastille, but they do, I think, occasionally, I enjoy them because there's some unintentional cheesiness. Like with Pompeii, it's like, that's a silly song
It's
with those
fun.
Solitude Monks. And this song just takes itself so seriously to a point that's just annoying.
Yeah.
Any more thoughts?
I just wasn't a fan.
Yeah, it's not the best deal that I.
Yeah, I go back and listen to Pompeii.
Alright. On to your
Alright.
favorite band of all time?
What? Oh yeah. Oh god. Never mind. Hey. All right. So number 12, Thunder by Imagine Dragons. At least it's not Believer.
Thank you. That's what I said for both of those songs on here.
Because this song has one thing going for it in my mind. One thing. That ending guitar solo is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the song is just worthless
Oh,
to me.
Yeah.
I will not judge you. Say what you will.
Unpopular opinion. I would probably like watching the trailer that Believer must be in a few more times and listening to this song on repeat.
No, I know a lot of people who actually think this is worse than Believer.
I don't dislike it. It just sort of is like, how do I find myself listening to this again? And what is that vocal exactly?
Yeah. Oh my god, why? Now my favorite part of this song is that 3-note, like really fake sounding drum they throw, because they're like so desperate for some sort of melody. They throw in this like doo 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 just suddenly in the chorus.
Yeah. I have to say that with regards to Imagine Dragons, more or less every song I've heard by them always kind of sounds different in some way or another. It definitely feels like they have a really wide range and diversity of what they do and what they can do.
And they're also going to show up later on this list as well.
So I do like this song in that it sounds different from most of the other Imagine Dragons songs I've heard, and frankly sounds relatively different from a lot of other things I've heard.
Yeah.
Just not at the top of my list or at the top of this list.
It just it has no melody for me until that really good guitar solo. I really need to emphasize that. It sounds pretty awesome. Up until then, there's just no melody to this thing. It's just it's gray. It's a song where when I think of it, I just think of like a gray cinder block or something like that. It just sits there.
Yeah.
It's like watching a thunderstorm. You're waiting for the lightning, but you mostly see the
I will
clouds.
give credit to this song. It does at least get the whole thunder and lightning metaphor right, where it's like lightning comes first, then you hear the thunder.
Yeah.
Props, you got that metaphor right, unlike some other people.
Hey, a lot of people make that mistake. I don't think I've heard an Imagine Dragons like verse or like that really sounds good. I feel like he just has a really jilted kind of way of like talking. Like it's not really smooth. I don't know. I always have issues with their verses. Yeah. But then, I don't know, like, those high-pitched tone voices that say thunder just annoyed the hell out of me.
Okay, I know I said I wasn't going to break the music video.
Yeah.
But what is with that shot of just all the cars driving in the video?
I didn't understand.
Oh my god! It looks like a car commercial. Jesus, it's just in the city, and you just see all these cars just driving, and they're all like the same car. And I'm like, really, guys?
Yeah.
All right. Now on to number 11. This is with a creepy as hell name and a creepy as hell song too. Honestly, this is "Broken" by Lovely the Band.
All one word.
And all lowercase.
Yeah, we don't use capitals here.
Did you guys like the song?
I don't like this.
Not a fan.
I kind of do.
It was iffy.
Here's the problem with it. It reminds me a lot of really early Foster the People, and I cannot stand early Foster the People, so it reminds me a lot of Pumped Up Kicks, and that really, like, drippy main synth melody it has, and this kind of it just has kind of this circular nature to me, where it's like there's nothing sort of driving forward. I just feel like the melody is just kind of just going around in circles for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's
like
fun.
Sweet
I think
sentiment.
it's kind of cute. Yeah, it's good. It's a little sentimental, but it doesn't go over the top for me. And like, the message is kind of appealing to me.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't mock
here,
people's opinions. I'm trying to get better.
The lyrics are a little unconventional and maybe a conventional way.
I just find it just in the writing creepy where they make it so they're in the story they're telling, they're not the ones actually singing the chorus, it's the girls singing it to them.
Yeah.
And that just comes across as kind of manipulative to me. It's like, oh no, we're not the ones saying that, oh, we like that you're broken, we like that you're lonely.
We can be lonely together.
Another girl, someone else was singing it to us. We are actually, I don't know, something about that just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
I admit I had not thought that far into it.
Yeah, it only comes up like once in the verse where, it says, she said break into chorus kind of.
I could just tell from, I don't know, maybe I heard, but I knew that. But for me, it was like, this song didn't offend me, and it didn't do anything. It was kind of just forgettable.
What was funny about this song is that I heard it on like a drive home, and they just like announced like, hey, here's like a new song. I'm like, I'm gonna be hearing this a lot soon. It's probably gonna blow up, and it's like rising on the chart right now. So hey, good for them, I guess. Maybe
Yeah, I'm
they'll
happy about that.
like Foster the People, make better music in the future. Spoiler alert for a future opinion.
One last thing. Did you like the bridge?
I'm sorry. I kind of did. I'll admit. I thought it sounded sweeter, and the melody was more interesting on that. I'll give it that.
I tend to like bridges that are, well, bridges in general fascinate me, I guess. But I like bridges that kind of take a song and do something different with it.
No,
Like they'll change the tempo,
absolutely,
change
yeah.
the sound.
And they do it. And yeah.
I like this song.
Points for that. All right, number 10. We've got "Happy Hour" by Weezer.
What are you gonna say, Blake? Let's go.
I don't even like the stuff from Weezer that people like really love. So it's like now off this album that everyone seemingly hates. Like, it's like what? Because which of what we did? We did "Feels Like Summer" together, or was it with you?
I think it might have been
Because this just sounds like "Feels Like Summer." This sounds exactly the same.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a fun, like, I don't know, it's just happy. And I don't know, I like early Weezer, and so I like the Blue album, I like the Green album.
I think I like early Weezer as well, which, like, I feel like is an unpopular opinion in my life, because I feel like I haven't met that many people who agree with
part of
the
it's
Weezer
because
that I like.
well, part of it's because there's so much of like their 2000s output that people just despise.
Yeah, but some people
just got sick
freaking
of
love
them.
it, though.
Fun fact: the album of Weezer that I was first introduced to was the Red album of all things. That one
Really?
people just don't care about at all. That had like Pork and Beans, Troublemaker, Everybody Get Dangerous. I like those songs fine, but like it's just nerdy references thrown at you. Work sucks. You know, I need happy hour. I need a break from my boss who's crushing me with a weight like Monty Python.
Yeah, like
nerds.
It was just, it was, for me, it was just, it was happy, but there was no substance in it that I really cared about.
Yeah.
And it was like super easy to digest, but I literally got nothing out of it.
Absolutely.
It's a song that I feel like I would listen to mostly when I'm in a low energy state, but oddly enough, for some reason, it's a song that also gets really stuck in my head. And then when I'm like happier or in a higher energy, jumping around, it's like, why is this song in my head?
Yeah, no, I get that. I was kind of humming it. You know, you kind of get it in your head when it's playing, and so I was like, I didn't even really like it.
I mean, Rivers Cuomo knows how to get lodged in your head like nobody else.
He actually shows up again.
Yeah, for no reason at all. Alright, spoilers for songs way higher on the list. Number 9, how is this still here in 2018? This is that song that blew up and went to like number 5 on the pop charts. This is "Feel It Still" by Portugal the Man.
Made for commercials.
Yeah.
That was
That one, Aaron Paul soda commercial. I don't remember what the drink is, but yeah.
I've heard it on
And
a lot.
I feel bad because I mostly like this song too. Like, yeah, I'm sick to death of it, but I mostly still think it's pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. Frankly, I'm not that sick of it yet. Probably because I don't watch a lot of TV lately.
Yeah, fair
So
enough.
like, I've kind of avoided all the advertisements where it's in. So now, like, when I hear it like in full length somewhere, occasionally I'll be like, wow, that's pretty good.
There's 2 problems I have with this song. 1, pitch shifting, not necessary. 2, I can't believe I'm saying this, it's too short. It's under 3 minutes, and every time I listen to it, it just breezes by. I'm like, that's it? It's over already? Like, what? This should have been like 3.5 minutes. This shouldn't have been under 3 minutes.
You know, as far as review or critique of a song goes, that's one of the best you can give. Like,
that is a fair point.
I wish there was more of this song, and I have the same feeling.
True.
Like, it's upbeat and it's quick and it kind of goes way too quick.
Awesome transitions in it, like that final transition in the final chorus. Like for how short it is, it packs in like 3 or 4 really solid transitions like that I really liked.
Yeah, I gotta say it's one of the it's a song with one of the best overall flows that I've heard in a long
That's
time.
true. It does. Except for
I really
that stupid
appreciate
pitch shifting that comes in
Yeah.
where it just totally, especially for a song that is meant to invoke like the '60s, especially like Woodstock. I'm like, why is this here? This is just totally taking me out of me as the cons because I believe it's from another semi-concept album that focuses on like Woodstock. I'm like, why is this there? I don't think this was there back then.
Yeah, I don't think they used a lot of pitch shifting in the 60s.
No, Jimi Hendrix, man, he used to.
Dude, yeah, I mean, he had a really high pitched voice. He really pitch shifted down.
He went all the way up the Watchtower.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Oh my
I
God.
tried too hard. I'm sorry.
To find the foxy lady.
Yes, that one.
And there was a fire there.
Wow,
Alright,
that was magnificent.
That was awful. Alright, so
If
do
six
you
was nine,
have any thoughts on this besides the fact that it's in commercials?
I don't know. It was very like poppy, and it was fun to listen to. I actually enjoyed it, and again, it went by super fast. Like I was listening to it, I'm like, the next song came in, I'm like,
it doesn't help that the guy's falsetto vocals don't really stick to you as much as they should, so that makes it feel like it's breezing by even more, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising to think about for me because despite the amount that I like it, I actually know relatively few of the lyrics, probably because I'm just kind of paying attention to the feeling of the song.
Yeah.
It doesn't really stick to me that much.
like, I had no idea what they were talking about.
When we get to the spoilers, when we get to the next Portugal the Man song, boy, do I feel the same way about that one.
Oh boy.
Alright, number 8. Much like Royal Blood, a band that has disappointed throughout their entire career for me.
Really?
This is Run for Cover by The Killers.
I freaking love the old Killers though.
Yeah,
Their first
I
album is
agree.
awesome. And funny enough, I actually like this too for the most part, I think.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Like, and I think I just give them a little bit of. I'm a little soft on them because I freaking love Hot Fuss.
Yeah.
And that album, there's so many songs on there that I just really. And I feel a lot of.
Andy, You're a Star is on it.
Hey,
Oh.
you are a star. You're on this video
I try.
right now.
I try.
But I feel like it has a lot of the similar elements of stuff that I like. It's not put as together as well as their earlier stuff, but I actually enjoyed it, and I thought I actually wasn't a fan of the guitar tone that they used for the solo, though. But I liked the song. It was put together relatively well. I think I still hold them to a higher standard just because their freaking first album was great, but it was okay. It was good.
Sorry, we're going to speak.
I was just gonna say, for me, Killers is one of the bands that I feel like I can almost always identify just kind of with their vocal style. Like between the singer and how they sing, I always feel like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the Killers, which I kind of like. I like them having a signature sound.
The other weird thing about this song is that it's about a pretty dark subject. It's about like a woman escaping from domestic abuse, and I think that actually kind of works because some of the songs I love from The Killers the most do kind of have these dark undercurrents in them. Like, Mr. Brightside is kind of, or, my favorite song for them is Jenny Was a Friend of Mine. And that song is intriguing as all hell. It's like, why was she a friend? What happened? Like, what's going on? What happened here? And I think they tap into that same sort of intriguing sort of seediness on this song as well. And it actually kind of worked for me.
Yeah. Now, quick note: the beginning of the song, like when it first starts out, did that remind you of anything?
Not that I can really think of.
Personally, I got a pretty strong vibe of Animals by Neon Trees.
Well, look, I tried to erase Neon Trees
Okay,
from my
yeah.
memory, so.
That's fair.
What's that?
Maybe it wasn't the right
It's
question.
from a while ago.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
2009, I think is when that song came out.
Something about it. I think just how the guitar starts and a little bit of the rhythm. I feel like it's a pretty similar intro, but
I could see
might
that.
just be me.
Alright. Number 7. I have even less to say about this song than the damn Moon Taxi song. This is Up All Night by Beck.
I thought that was by Daft Punk.
I could see that.
I think there's 1,000 songs called Up All Night because I know there's one by Blink-182.
I actually, okay, fun fact. I wanted to look at the lyrics. I looked up All Night. I think I put B accidentally, and it showed Blink-182's version instead of Beck.
Wow.
But like, this is again, commercial. All I see with this song is I think it's the Target commercial with this one. And to me, this song also sounds like, Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake. To an and a song that already was made for commercials. They got, and like, I'm not a huge Beck fan, but I respect that he's done a lot of interesting stuff in his career. He's reinvented himself a lot. He does a lot of cool stuff. This song to me is so obviously the most pop he's ever sounded. It's like, all right, you wanted your big pop song, you got it. Got to number 1 on this chart. Good for you.
Go from Loser to this. It sounds nothing.
I was gonna think, when I hear Beck, for some reason, nothing really comes to mind. Now, it might just be that I need to listen to more Beck, because I know I like some of his songs.
Some of the stuff,
Just like, I can't really remember a certain style I associate with him for some reason. And I guess maybe the song didn't really help that state, because like you were saying, it's kind of more
I just feel like
never done.
Anyone could have made this.
It's really derivative.
I don't feel like, Beck kind of has this sort of, with Loser, he kind of has this sort of cynical angst or nihilistic angst in that song. Here, there's just no character like that. Just, I want to stay up all night.
Anybody could have performed this song.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
I think that's just it. I think that's what I was looking for, and then this song kind of made me think, like, I don't know this style. Like, this could be anybody.
Yeah.
All right, number 5. With lists like this, you'll come across a song, because we did the rock list one. What?
Did we do number 6?
Son of a gun, I'm so sorry. All right, number 6. You didn't get the list wrong. All right, number 6, got the Imagine Dragons returning. Whatever it takes. No, that wasn't deliberate. I messed up. All right, this is better. This is a step in the right direction over Thunder, at least in my opinion.
I feel like it does deliver more. Like, I have a more complete sense of what the song is than Thunder. Personally, back to Thunder real quick, it just kind of feels like a fuzzy mess in my mind. I can't really make heads or tails of it. This one I can kind of tell where it's going, though it starts out pretty early on with rapping.
Yep.
Again, Imagine Dragons doing something different.
And this is why I feel really bad for Dan Reynolds, because I think Dan Reynolds, the lead singer of Imagine Dragons, has a good voice to him. He's got a good rock voice, but they don't use him properly, and they make him sing this, again, as you said, rapped verses, and with a really weird pre-chorus, where he's trying to sound like weirdly tough, like a racehorse, whip me. Yeah.
Oh God.
And this song I like more because I think it doesn't sound as processed. There's more, the guitars have more presence. I actually quite liked, as you mentioned, with the whole broken thing, where the bridge sounds different. I like what they do with the bridge here as well. They slow it down, and it adds more of a solemn feel to it that I kind of wish the rest of the song had as well, where they just feel like this band that's so huge, and they just feel like the world's against them and want them to fail, which not really sure how much I believe that, but at least there was this, unlike Thunder, where I have no idea what that song's about. This song, I'm like, all right, I can get behind this sentiment. I understand the frustration you're going through.
No, yeah. I said it was probably one of the least terrible Imagine Dragons songs of recent memory.
Yeah, 100% agree with you.
And I don't know, and I wrote down exactly the same notes as what Blake just said. I said it sounds way less processed as a lot of their stuff, way more organic. I could actually hear the guitar and make that out, and so I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. And the chorus I actually thought built up. It was actually pretty catchy, and I can actually remember it, and so there's a lot of things on this list where I'm like, how did that exactly sound again?
I'm curious now, do you guys have a favorite song by Imagine Dragons?
Its Time is still a lot of fun,
yeah.
I think. And Radioactive is good, almost great, if the chorus is a little better, I think.
I feel like I do. I feel like I kind of shared that. Like, that goes back kind of a good distance. That's some
like
earlier
2012.
which is maybe still some of my favorite. But personally, I feel like I've enjoyed some of the songs since then.
Yeah, I do. Their second album, I don't remember anything about. All right, so the song we skipped ahead because I really want to talk about this one, because you remember we did the rock chart and we had Oh My God by the Pretty Reckless, and I came into it not really liking the Pretty Reckless, think they really try hard, and really ended up liking Oh My God. And with these lists, it's always that one song you kind of come up with this preconception, and then it turns out, wow, I actually think this is one of the best songs on the list. This is number 5, Sit Next to Me by Foster the People. I really despise Foster the People, and I really like this song.
Yeah. Foster the People is kind of weird for me because I don't know if I've heard much of them recently, so maybe I don't have that great a judgment on it. But some of the earlier stuff, it was like I didn't really like some of the songs, and then others of them really stuck out to me.
Pumped Up Kicks, Hell on the Beat, Feels Like It's Coming.
Those are the only songs I know that.
Yeah, those are big radio songs. But
yeah, I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, with this, because there are other stuff I just found really like this stale indie pop. This one is just kind of just straight disco, and it honestly works for them more, I think. And the one part of the song to me has all the charm, that really captures the charm of it to me, is like the final part of the chorus where he like reaches in into his falsetto and goes, "Take me higher." Like that to me is so classic disco. Like that totally sold me on the song when I heard that. I was like, yes, good work.
No, I really liked it. It had a really kind of groovy guitar. And that's what really kind of brought me in. I wasn't a huge fan. I thought this was probably one of the better songs, but I'm not super big of a fan of a lot of these songs.
Yeah, because a lot of them just run together.
I like kind of the synthy vibe of it.
Yeah, I agree.
I just didn't really like there was these ahs in the background that didn't really work for me, but
I kind of like those, but
they're just not personally for me.
Yeah. They're definitely kind of a thing where you either like them or you don't. They work for me, but...
Alright, so... Another, unless you guys have anything to say about this song.
No, I'm good.
Alright, sorry. Probably skip ahead a little bit. Yeah. Number 4, we've got Live in the Moment by Portugal the Man.
The drum beat sounds like Black Skinhead Kanye West.
In a good way?
I don't know.
I don't hear that. This sounds like every drum beat I've heard in every alternative rock song.
I don't know why, I just heard it.
Okay, actually, this is a funny connection. Speaking of Black Skinhead, there's a line in the second verse of this thing where they go like, "When you see your people hanging in the trees," or something like that. And it's this, and I could kind of guess that in the song they were trying to go for something a little subversive, but that line gets thrown in, and it's trying, because the song is, very bouncy, hey, live in the moment, life is good, and then they throw in lines like that, and little things are like, they're trying to do something subversive where it's like, oh, look at us, it's the 60s, we're so compliant and happy, but all this bad stuff is happening. But it doesn't work because his delivery is so uninteresting, I think, for one thing.
Yeah, I like the intro, I like the outro, the middle kind of blurred together a little bit to me. It wasn't quite as distinct as...
Yeah, because I think, Feel It Still, I think, has a lot of character to it. This song, my big thing with it is that I could imagine so many other bands making this exact same song.
It was forgettable.
Other people in this list, I'm like, if they made the songs be exactly the same, like, there's nothing about it that, like, I'm not the most familiar with Portugal the Man, but I just feel like the fact that it's them making this adds nothing to it.
And it was forgettable. I got bored in the middle. Like, at the beginning, that's kind of what, it kind of just dragged down. And so, it wasn't a bad song. It actually might have ranked
That's
the
a
middle.
sad statement.
It's a telling statement.
Yeah. Alright. Number 3, Sober Up by AJR. I actually forget what that stands for. Featuring Rivers Cuomo. Is this the one that you really didn't like, or?
No, I think this was okay. This was just... I didn't really like the cello. I think it was cello in the background. Because I think it was a little too low pitched for a violin. Could possibly be a viola, but we're getting into semantics now. And so I don't know. It was just like, I don't know. It was meh. Like, sober up, and I'm like, okay.
I thought the strings were an interesting touch. They at least kind of differentiated
it. It was different, and that was actually refreshing.
Yeah, so it was good to hear something that at least like started different, had that little bit of a something that set it apart a little bit, but yeah, or maybe slightly discordant with the rest of it. And when I was listening to the song, I definitely felt like it was familiar in some ways. Like it reminded me of a few things. I was trying to pull together what it made me think of. I want to say the lyrics and the singing reminded me somewhat of 21 Pilots. Little bit.
I can hear it.
I could hear that.
And then I think some of the chorus, maybe some of the guitars were.
And I love how we're just all ignoring the fact that this features Rivers Cuomo. For,
Okay, yeah.
honestly, I couldn't even tell it was him.
Neither could
And his verse has nothing to do with anything. Like, he's... verse, I guess. He shows up in the bridge, because the entire song is reminiscing about this person that I used to be friends with in 2nd grade, and now he, like, wants to have party with him because life is, or her, because life is difficult. And then suddenly the Rivers Cuomo comes in, he's like, my favorite color is yellow. My favorite, like, what? And this was, and the song to me just has no body. Like, I was like, there needs to be a low end to this thing. There needs to be like a bass line of some sort, and there just isn't.
Yeah.
And I just was, as a result, the entire thing just feels very thin in terms of emotion, in terms of the singing, in terms of the instrumentation. It just sounds very plastic to me.
And the Rivers Cuomo feature was just a throwaway.
So huge.
Just
So there's
throwaway.
no. He doesn't add anything to it.
Yeah, whatever they paid to have him on there, like you paid
Which
whatever
was
that
probably
amount too much.
something too.
Yeah,
I have to
he's
imagine.
not a small guy in the alternative sphere. He's big.
Yeah, I really didn't enjoy this.
I found it interesting, but like you were saying,
Because I don't really like 21 Pilots either. But even something like Stressed Out, the same sort of themes of, youth and wanting to return to that,
Yeah.
I thought were more developed in that song. This song is just like, oh, I knew you were in 2nd grade. All right, that's like all the character development this relationship gets.
Yeah, for me,
Nice
comparing this to Stressed
story.
Out is kind of blasphemous because I actually kind of like Stressed Out.
Yes, that's
I think it's handled well. The themes of
Yeah.
when you're younger and emotions getting pulled back with smells
yeah.
and looks
Yeah,
that was
that-
actually, I thought, was reminiscent and actually you could remember things. But this one was just like,
Yeah.
bleh.
Alright, number 2, 1 Foot by Walk the Moon.
Why is this on the alternative chart?
It's
a
That's
pop
a
song.
fair question.
It's a pop song.
Okay, what is going on in the pre-chorus of this thing? Oh, with this really awful, auto-tuned, harmony they try to
I
do.
don't even know.
This is probably for me, the most frustrating song on the list.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, because I like the theme of it, hey, life is hard, we're gonna get through it one step
foot
at a
in front,
time, one
yeah.
foot in front of the other. I like that sentiment, and I
Yeah.
like the first half of the chorus, and then they throw in this bassy drop that kind of just swallows anything with
It was
these,
very electronic.
yeah, with these really squawking synth tones that were just so high pitched and annoying to me.
Yep.
And then sorry, I'm talking too much about this,
It's
but I have
okay,
a lot of
go.
feelings about this song. And then the bridge comes in, and it sounds pretty awesome. This kind of really heavy, repetitive, undulating synth to
Yeah.
it, and that sounds real. And I liked it, and that just goes back to bassy drop.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me? Walk the moon.
What was their other song? Was that Shut Up and Dance?
Shut up and dance.
Yeah.
Anna's Son was the one
Okay,
before
yeah,
that,
yeah. No, and it's different, but for me, it's there's the electronic feel didn't really work in some places,
I agree.
and yeah, there were some weird high pitched shrieking noises, and it was non-offensive.
And
but
then
it's just not
speaking of whatever it takes in rapping, the second
Yes!
verse.
good. Yes,
What? This is the Exodus. They can't mess with us.
he was rapping,
What?
and it was weird.
Yeah, it's like the awful rapping of whatever it takes mixed with whatever the hell the falsetto was doing on World Gone Mad. It's just what? The Exodus? What?
Don't try to throw in
Madness?
a random rap verse. If you're doing an alternative thing, if
We
you're-
haven't let you speak on this
Go.
song at all. I'm
Go.
sorry. Go ahead. We clearly are annoyed by it in multiple ways.
It's maybe for the best because I don't really feel like I have that much to say on it. It it was Walk the Moon to me. They have a distinct style, and like I feel like I recognized it. Like, yeah, this is Walk the Moon, but it didn't. I guess it didn't do that much for me, either good or bad.
We didn't have an emotional. It didn't
Yeah.
cause any emotions.
Yeah, but I'm
the lyrics
because
were
I
good,
like a lot of the guitar work. I like a lot of the drum work, and it just gets buried under just annoying synth and this really bassy drop that just annoyed me. All right, not done with the frustrating songs on this list. Number one, another artist on here. I think on Spotify, if you look, this is her only song on there. This is No Roots by Alicia Merton, I believe is her name.
Alice?
Oh, it's Alice Merton. I'm sorry, Alice Merton.
I've got no rule.
Man, another. I think it's funny the top two songs on this list both kind of frustrate me.
Go.
All right, I'm gonna make a comparison here. All right, you guys remember "Human" by Rag and Bone Man?
Yes.
All right, so these songs remind me in a lot of ways because I think they have got a really powerhouse vocalist behind it who sounds really good with this song that is trying to go for this kind of rustic feel, but is just too synthetic for its own good, I think.
Yeah.
Because I like the bass line on this thing a lot. I like the sort of that little riff that comes in now and then. I think sounds really nice. But then it throws in these this industrial synth breakdown near the end that just sounds like something out of the 90s.
It got weird, and I didn't understand that. At least it's not as bad for me as on Human, where I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling myself. Fuck everyone else.
I'm talking about a different song.
What's
by the
that
way.
one?
You're talking about My Name Is Human
My
by
Name
House
Is Human.
Suspect. I'm
My
talking about
bad.
Human by Rag
My
and Bone
bad.
Man.
My bad.
I'm only human after all. That's
okay,
one.
my bad.
That's a nice harmony, by the way.
My bad. I screwed up.
No, and because like Rag and Bone Man, I do really like her voice, and it kind of reminds me of like Florence and the Machine's lead singer. I think she's got the same. I think she's got some pipes to her that are really nice, but this production it needs to be either more rustic or more of kind of the same thing as Ship to Wreck that Florence, that more kind of psychedelic and more zany.
I think that's a pretty good way of going about it. Like, personally, I liked some of the more kind of electro elements in the second half of the synths. I'm, again, a fan of those, of course. But, so, I enjoyed that, but now that I think about it, it was maybe a little bit kind of skewed from the earlier half, where I think you're right, it is kind of moving toward the rustic, and then starts at rustic, moves toward electro. Not necessarily bad, but
it gets lodged in your head like nothing else on this list. Holy crap, though!
You know what? The impact, like the way it moves into the chorus, where it's not quite a drop, but you really feel it when they start in the chorus.
She kind of like her singing kind of changes. Like it's not like the most. Well, the way she ends it before she goes into the chorus, it's not like the smoothest singing. You know, she kind of.
I think it has a pretty good effect. I think that really sticks with me. I
and
really remember.
I'll say this: I definitely want to hear more from her in the future. I definitely this is really someone who's got a presence and just a power behind her that I certainly want to hear more from if she gets behind some production that flatters her more.
Indeed.
No, she seemed to have a good control with her voice, and I enjoyed it. It just.
And it also, it wasn't overly controlled. In the chorus, she does, I think, kind of belt out a little too, in a way that she can sort of let loose, and she isn't too poised in a way that can just kind of come off as static, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so I know it can be hard. A lot of these songs kind of blur together, but can you guys pick maybe a top 3 or so?
All right.
I tried to do that.
I would say Run for Cover, No Roots, and Sit Next to Me would probably be my top 3. And maybe Too High would be 4th on that list.
Alright, for me, it's No Roots. It is a Run for Cover, but I either have to go, sadly, with Dashboard Confessional, We Fight.
I didn't write the names on here. Oh boy.
So my third choice after No Roots is either Dashboard Confessional We Fight
I can
or
see
Royal
that, yeah.
Blood, because it was just
Yeah.
different, and I like the guitar work.
Yeah.
It's just like I wanted.
Well, part
more.
of it's because I've listened to both Royal Blood albums, so I'm they have that same sound. A lot of their stuff I've just heard it with
It's really
better
samey.
choruses. Well, I mean, you can't really do that much with two guys.
Yeah.
To be fair.
All right. You guys.
In case you guys are listening to this on audio, Andy's using my phone right now because he has notes, but he didn't write down the songs on
It's
them.
okay.
I'm real smart that way.
Hey, I mistake human for my name is human. So.
Nah, don't
We
worry.
were only human. Don't put that.
Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
am.
Well,
Don't
well
put the
played.
blame on me, man.
Yeah. All right. I think you guys hit some of these. Definitely No Roots is in my top. However many is it gonna be?
3.
Yeah, I'll try to make it 3. I gotta say, Feel It Still by Portugal the Man.
Okay.
Oh, I actually told you about that one. That being top 5, definitely.
I have heard it a lot, commercials otherwise, but it really appeals to me.
It's fun.
And just for jokes and because it's not gonna be popular, I'm gonna go ahead and say Best Friend.
Only if you can name all the artists involved in it.
Oh no.
Okay. Isn't that close to one of them?
I meant Walk on Water.
Oh, you
Yeah,
picked that
36
one?
more. Okay.
Alright,
I
so,
thought it was gonna be
well,
Alright.
this wasn't
Can I,
this wasn't a good list. Alright, yeah, sorry.
Can I give a real quick arbitrary award to one of these songs?
Sure.
Go.
Alright. I'm gonna give an award to number 10, which is Happy Hour by Weezer for best historical reference.
Yeah,
Ponce
yeah,
de
Ponce de
Leon.
Leon, yeah.
Oh.
This is done.
And
This is yours.
a dishonorable mention to Best Friend because it references Deja Vu,
Okay.
and it totally does not know what Deja Vu is.
There is that.
Alright, well, maybe we'll do this again with a more interesting list, because a lot of this was not very interesting. Well, thanks for listening / watching. Thanks to you two for getting out here and
Definitely.
doing this with
I
us.
literally had to walk 5 minutes. So it's not that bad.
Jeez, make it sound like you had more of a commitment, man.
Hey, I had a commitment. I came. I waited. I was here.
Alright, bye. See you next time.
Farewell.